The next step in our Securely Pass setup will be to configure AutoPass. If you're not already on the dashboard, go ahead and navigate there on the left-hand side of your screen. And then we're going to go to the right and look for AutoPasses. Now, before we start taking a look at AutoPass, I just want to go back and remind you of what AutoPass actually is. There's no PIN number or anything like that that you'll need to put in for your student. There's no digital signature or physical signature that you would need to use for AutoPass. Instead, AutoPass is using a process that's very similar to what we're already doing in the classroom. The process would look like this. The student would raise his or her hand in the classroom and ask to go to the bathroom, the drinking fountain, the guidance office, or whatever you might allow for your students to go to. The teacher will give verbal permission, and then the student will start the pass in pass in this particular system. Once the student has started the pass, then the student can go to whatever their destination might be, leaving their Chromebook in the room. When the student returns, the student will stop the timer, which works very much like any gym timer, and then that will end their pass. So here's how we'll start setting this up for ourselves as staff members. Go ahead and click on the pencil icon. Everybody is going to start by using this very first setup. We're going to allow students to both start and stop their passes. Let's go ahead and think about locations that are closest to us. So, for example, if I were a teacher at the middle school and my classroom is over by the library, I might think about places where my students would go to. So that could be the bathroom that's over by the library, so the LMC bathroom. I might also want my students to be able to go to the nurse. And I might also want for my students to be able to go to the guidance office. For right now, we're going to leave alone these two extra fields. This is something we may return to in the future, but for right now, we're going to leave them be. I also want to think about a limit that I might apply in my classroom. You can either turn this off, you can have no limit whatsoever. But for myself, I'm thinking about the number of students that I want to have out of the room at any particular time. That doesn't mean that I'm limiting it to, for example, one student that can be in the LMC bathroom, one student that can be in the nurse, or one in the guidance office. Instead, what this actually means is I'm limiting it to the number of students that are out of my room. So I'm going to leave it set at 1 for me, and I'm going to hit submit. Now, I want to show you what this actually would look like from a student perspective. Let's say that I'm Tommy Tartan and I do need to use the restroom. And when a student logs in to pass, this is what they're going to see. It's very similar to your view also. But the student would log in and click Create Pass. And the student would choose the teacher. And then in the destination, they would choose the library media bathroom. Now you'll see it's only those sections that I've actually given them access to. And then they would click submit. Now you'll see the student is prompted right away for currently waiting for approval. That means that the student is not able to actually click start. If the student did click start without asking for your permission, the timer would start running and their bathroom time would be ticking away without actually having permission yet. The student would first need to raise his or her hand, ask for permission to go to the bathroom, and then when you verbally give permission, then the student can start that timer. The other thing I did want to point out is the student might decide, you know what, I didn't actually need to go to the bathroom as badly as I thought I did, or we're pretty close to the end of the period, so I'm going to wait. Right here, the student can cancel the request, and they have roughly 4.5 minutes from the time that they start the request to be able to cancel it. So like, let's say that I did want to cancel it. You would click there and you can click cancel if you want to, but I'm going to close that out. So Mrs. Johnson has given me permission. I am going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to click start. And you'll see that that changes the screen from red to green. And I can now go to the bathroom. I have to leave my Chromebook at my desk and I need to leave the screen open. Once this timer has started, it's going to count down the amount of time that's left for the student to be able to go to the bathroom. Once I've come back from the bathroom, I'm going to click stop, and you'll see that it does, in fact, it was a pretty quick trip, but you'll see that the time will actually show for both the start and the stop time. I should have done that a little bit longer so you could have seen that. But um, now on the teacher side of things, so that you can see what it looks like here, I can in fact see all of Tommy's passes. So I actually did a couple of test runs earlier, so you can see these as well. But back on my own dashboard, I can see the passes that Tommy has actually used. So it's helpful for teachers to be able to see this. You'll also be able to see the other passes that Tommy has used in different classrooms as well. So if we have students that are chronically going to the bathroom frequently or other locations every single period, we'll be able to see that and have a conversation with the student.